E-Commercial Episode 1. The E-Commerce Gamble. Chapter 1. The Big Launch. Jake Carter had always dreamed of being his own boss. After years of working long hours for someone else's company, he finally decided enough is enough. He was tired of answering to a manager who didn't appreciate his hard work, sick of meetings that could have been emails, and done with watching his ideas make someone else rich. So, he quit. His plan? Launching his own e-commerce store selling sleek, eco-friendly stainless steel water bottles. The market was booming, people were ditching plastic, and Jake was convinced that if he played his cards right, made the right decisions, he could build a thriving business. The grind begins. Starting from scratch was no joke. Every morning, Jake woke up at the crack of dawn, grabbed a strong black coffee, and dove straight into work. He spent hours on end, many consecutive hours, learning how to build a website, researching suppliers, and figuring out how to handle logistics. At night, he was still glued to his laptop, designing the perfect product images and writing catchy descriptions. He was burning the midnight oil, working late into the night, barely getting 5 hours of sleep. His friends started calling him a workaholic, but Jake didn't care. "I have to give it my all. I need to do my best," he told himself. After weeks of grinding, the website was finally up and running. Jake pulled out all the stops, did everything possible to make it look professional, sleek design, high-quality images, and even a chatbot for customer service. It was time for launch. Launch day, when things go crazy. The morning of the launch, Jake felt like a kid on Christmas Day. He had scheduled Instagram ads, reached out to influencers, and even set up a discount for the first 50 customers. Now, all he had to do was sit back and watch the magic happen. And it did. Orders started rolling in, coming in steadily. His phone buzzed every few seconds with new sales notifications. Within an hour, he had sold out half his stock. Sales are through the roof. Sales are extremely high, he yelled, jumping out of his chair. For a moment, he let himself breathe. He made a fresh cup of coffee, sat back in his chair, and thought, "This is it. This is what success feels like." Then reality hit. Jake quickly realized he had made a huge mistake. He had bitten off more than he could chew, taken on more than he could handle. His inventory system was a mess, orders weren't updating correctly, and worst of all, he had no idea how to efficiently package and ship hundreds of bottles on his own. He spent the rest of the day running around like a headless chicken, frantically running without direction, printing shipping labels, stuffing boxes, and trying to respond to customer emails. Then came another disaster. The shipping nightmare. By the third day, his inbox was flooded, overwhelmed with messages, with customer complaints. "Where's my order? I got the wrong color bottle. Why is shipping taking so long?" Negative reviews started pouring in, increasing quickly, and Jake panicked. He knew that in e-commerce, bad reviews can make or break a business, decide whether a business will succeed or fail. At midnight, exhausted and overwhelmed, he collapsed onto his couch. His apartment looked like a warehouse with boxes stacked to the ceiling and packing peanuts everywhere. His dog, Max, sniffed at the mess disapprovingly. "I have to fix this," Jake muttered, rubbing his temples. He reached for his laptop to send out apology emails. But as soon as he opened his site, his stomach dropped. The website had crashed. His entire store was offline, no sales, no access, just an error message staring back at him. Jake's heart pounded. This was a disaster. To be continued. Native expressions and their meanings. 1. Enough is enough. I've had it. I can't take this anymore. 2. Play your cards right. Make the right choices to succeed. 3 hours on end. Many hours continuously. 4. Burn the midnight oil. Stay up late working. 5. Give it your all. Put in maximum effort. 6. Pull out all the stops. Do everything possible to make something great. 7. Orders rolling in. Orders arriving continuously. 8. Sales are through the roof. Sales are extremely high. 9. Bite off more than you can chew. Take on more than you can handle. 10. Running around like a headless chicken, being frantically busy and disorganized. 11th. Inbox flooded. Receiving too many emails, junk messages. 12th. Negative reviews pouring in. Getting many bad reviews quickly. 13. Make or break a business. Decide whether a business will succeed or fail. 14. Collapsing onto the couch, falling onto the couch due to exhaustion. 15th. Warehouse-like apartment. When a space is so messy that it resembles a warehouse. 16. Rubbing temples. A physical reaction to stress or frustration. 17. Stomach dropped, feeling extreme shock or panic. 18. Heart pounded, feeling extreme fear or anxiety. 19th. Crashed website, a site that stops working completely. 20. Disaster strikes. Something terrible happens suddenly. So, what will Jake do next? Can he fix his website, or is his business doomed before it even really begins? Stay tuned for the next chapter, Chapter 2, Damage Control. Jake stared at the error message on his laptop screen, his mind racing. His store was down, orders were stuck, customers were furious. This was a full-blown nightmare, a really bad situation. He refreshed the page. Nothing. Come on, he muttered under his breath, clicking again like his life depended on it. His phone buzzed. Another angry email. Another customer demanding a refund. I need to fix this, now. When in doubt, call for help. Jake wasn't a tech genius, but he knew someone who was, his old college buddy Ryan, who now worked in IT. He dialed his number. Dude, my site crashed. I have no idea what happened. Sales were going through the roof and then, boom, everything went dark. Ryan sighed. Did you scale your hosting plan? Jake blinked. Did I what? Your website probably couldn't handle all the traffic. If you're on a cheap hosting plan, it's like trying to fit 100 people into a tiny apartment. The whole thing collapses. Jake smacked his forehead. Of course. He had been so focused on marketing and sales that he completely overlooked the technical side of things. Ryan walked him through upgrading his server, and within minutes, the site was back up. Crisis averted. The problem was solved. You saved my life, man, Jake said. Just don't forget to pay me back in coffee, Ryan laughed. The fulfillment mess. With the website back, Jake turned to the next disaster, shipping. He was in way over his head, dealing with more than he could manage. Orders were delayed, addresses were wrong, and customers were growing impatient. At this rate, his brand new business was going to go under, fail completely, before it even got off the ground. He needed a system, fast. After burning the midnight oil, staying up late working, for 3 nights straight, he finally cracked the code. 1. Hired a fulfillment company. No more stuffing boxes in his tiny apartment. 2. Set up tracking emails. Customers would get real-time updates. 3. Created a refund and exchange policy to keep angry customers from ruining his reputation. By the end of the week, things were finally back on track, returning to normal. Turning the tables. Once the logistics were under control, Jake focused on getting back in the game, recovering from a setback. He launched a flash sale, a short-term big discount, to win back customers and sweeten the deal, made the offer even better, by offering free shipping. The gamble paid off. Orders started pouring in again, started increasing quickly again. But Jake wasn't celebrating just yet. He had learned his lesson, the hard way. This time, he was ready. As he watched the numbers climb on his sales dashboard, he smirked. Round 2, let's go. To be continued. Native expressions and their meanings. 1. Full-blown nightmare, a really bad situation. 2. Mutter under your breath. Speak quietly to yourself in frustration. 3. Life depends on it. Something feels extremely urgent. 4. Crisis averted. The problem was solved. 5. In way over your head, dealing with more than you can manage. 6. Go under. A business fails completely. 7. Burn the midnight oil. Stay up late working. 8. Back on track, returning to normal after a setback. 9. Getting back in the game, recovering after failure. 10. Flash sale, a short-term big discount. 11. Sweeten the deal. Make an offer even better. 12. Orders pouring in. Orders increasing quickly. 13. Crack the code. Found the solution to a problem. 14. Smack your forehead. A reaction to realizing a mistake. 15. The gamble paid off. A risky decision turned out successful. 16. Round 2. Let's go. Ready for the next challenge? Will Jake finally turn his business into a success, or is another disaster just around the corner? Stay tuned for Chapter 3. Blast Off. Chapter 3. A sudden backlash. Jake leaned back in his chair, watching the numbers climb on his sales dashboard. He had finally turned the corner. Things were finally improving. Orders were flowing in, customers were happy, and his marketing strategy was paying off. For the first time in weeks, he let himself breathe. Maybe I'm actually getting the hang of this, he muttered, stretching his arms. Then his phone buzzed. And another buzz. And another. Jake frowned. He grabbed his phone and saw dozens of notifications flooding in. Coming in very fast. Customer emails, social media comments, and worst of all, complaints. His stomach dropped. A PR disaster. Jake clicked on a comment under his latest Instagram ad. Is this a scam? I ordered 2 weeks ago and still haven't received my package. Another one. They took my money and never sent my order. Beware! And then the worst comment of all. Filing a dispute with my bank. This company is a joke. Jake felt like he'd been punched in the gut. His brand new business was spiraling out of control. Becoming a disaster. What the hell is going on? He rushed to check his shipping dashboard. And there it was, his worst nightmare. Somehow, half of his orders were stuck in transit. Packages weren't being scanned. Tracking numbers weren't updating. Customers had been left in the dark, had no information, and now they were taking their frustration online. Jake's heart pounded. This was bad. Really bad. If he didn't handle this right, his business could go up in flames. Completely fail. Damage control mode. First, he called his fulfillment company. Hey, why aren't my orders moving? I'm getting slammed with complaints. The rep sighed. Yeah, we've had some delays on our end. Warehouse staffing issues. But we should be caught up soon. Jake clenched his jaw. Caught up soon wasn't good enough. He had to act fast. He fired off an email blast to all affected customers. We're experiencing unexpected shipping delays and we sincerely apologize. To make it right, we're offering you a 20% refund on your order. Thank you for your patience. Then, he jumped onto social media, replying to every single complaint. He owned up to the mistake, admitted his fault, and promised better service moving forward. Winning customers back. It was a brutal 2 days, but slowly, the tide started turning. Some customers were still upset, but many appreciated his honesty. Thanks for the update. I appreciate the transparency. Good to know. I'll wait a little longer. A refund and an apology? That's great customer service. Jake exhaled. Crisis managed. The problem was handled. But he wasn't celebrating just yet. This business was testing him at every turn, and he had to be ready for whatever came next. Native expressions and their meanings. 1. Turn the corner. Things start improving. 2. Flooding in, coming in very fast. 3. Spiraling out of control, becoming a disaster. 4. Been left in the dark, had no information. 5. Up in flames, completely fail. 6. Caught up soon, will be finished or fixed soon. 7. Act fast, take quick action. 8. Owned up to the mistake, admitted his fault. 9th. Tide started turning. Things started changing direction. 10. Crisis managed. The problem was handled. Jake survived this mess, but will he finally get ahead of the game? Stay tuned for Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Make or Break. Jake had been running on fumes, operating with very little energy, for days. The shipping disaster had almost taken his business under, ruined it completely. But after non-stop customer service, refunds, and apologies, things were finally stabilizing. He sat at his desk, staring at his dwindling bank account. Yes, he had salvaged his reputation, but at what cost? Between refunding customers, covering extra shipping fees, and running ads to win back trust, regain customers' confidence, he was bleeding money, losing a lot of money. He let out a long sigh. I can't keep putting out fires forever. I can't keep solving endless problems. Jake had a choice. Keep playing it safe and slowly sink, or go big and take the biggest risk of his life. He checked his email. There it was, a potential lifeline, something that could save him. The big opportunity. A well-known influencer, Alex Carter, had replied to his pitch. Hey Jake, love your brand. Let's talk. If we can work something out, I'll feature your products in my next video. Jake's heart pounded. Alex had over 2 million followers. If this deal went through, it could change everything. But it wouldn't come cheap. All in or play it safe. Jake crunched the numbers. Sponsoring Alex's video would cost him almost every last penny, almost all his money. If it worked, his business would explode. If it flopped, he'd have nothing left. He paced around his small office, weighing the risks. Fortune favors the bold, right? Taking risks leads to success. Finally, he took a deep breath and hit send. Alex, let's do it. The moment of truth. A week later, Jake sat at his laptop, watching Alex's new video go live. Guys, I just found the coolest new brand. You have to check this out. The next 5 minutes were a blur. Alex showed off the products, raved about the quality, and even shared an exclusive discount code. Jake's hands shook as he refreshed his sales dashboard. Then, boom! Orders started flying in, coming in extremely fast. Traffic skyrocketed. Website visitors increased massively. Jake's site almost crashed from the volume. He couldn't believe it. The gamble had paid off. The risky decision had worked. From surviving to thriving. Within a month, Jake went from barely staying afloat, almost failing, to breaking sales records. He hired his first employee. He partnered with a better fulfillment company. He scaled up, expanded his business, faster than he had ever imagined. And as he sat in his now busy office, looking at his thriving business, he smiled. He had taken a leap of faith and landed on his feet. Jake had made it. The end. Native expressions and their meanings. 1. Running on fumes, operating with very little energy. 2. Taken his business under, ruined it completely. 3. Win back trust, regain customers' confidence. 4. Bleeding money, losing a lot of money. 5. Putting out fires, solving endless problems. 6th, potential lifeline, something that could save him. 7. Every last penny, almost all his money. 8. Fortune favors the bold. Taking risks leads to success. 9. Orders started flying in, orders coming in extremely fast. 10. Traffic skyrocketed. Website visitors increased massively. 11. The gamble had paid off. The risky decision had worked. 12th. Barely staying afloat, almost failing. 13. Breaking sales records, achieving the highest sales ever. 14. Scaled up, expanded his business. 15. Took a leap of faith, took a big risk, trusting it would work. 16. Landed on his feet. managed to succeed after taking a risk. Jake's journey wasn't easy, but he proved that with persistence, smart risks, and a bit of luck, anything is possible. Who knows? Maybe you're one decision away from your own success story. Blast off. Fire. This wraps up our adventure, but would you want to see Jake's next big move?